Most people find footnotes inconvenient. They're a disruption, a pause that breaks the momentum of a thought just as it starts to go. She's a stubborn little thing, demanding, insistent, never content to let a sentence stand on its own. She wants proof, a source, a name, and she takes up space. She complicates what was once so simple about your main text. She doesn't trust you, and we hate her for it. I certainly did in your freshman year. Not because I couldn't work through her, but because I didn't understand her. So tonight I want to talk to you about why I value footnotes. The main text moves fast. It declares, assumes, and commands. It is confident, sometimes a bit too confident. It tells the stories of science and history and philosophy as if there are no gaps, no missing pieces, no loose ends. But the footnote, she hesitates. She is relentlessly precise. She doesn't generalize. She doesn't tolerate your sloppy reasoning. She isn't interested in close enough or probably true. She is a skeptic, unwilling to settle for half-truths. She questions every assertion, every claim, every moment of intellectual laziness. And yes, of course she makes things harder. But when the dust settles, when shortcuts lead to failure, when oversimplifications turn false, and when the truth turns out to be exactly as complicated as she warned, people look for her. And when the argument that has been tested and challenged still stands, it will be because of her. Because she forced you to do better, even when you wished she would just let things slide. She is the reason that what remains is worth you. And that is precisely what makes her dangerous, because she is an active doubt in a world that is addicted to certainty. Sorry. When people prefer black and white, right and wrong, yes or no, the footnote knows better. She knows that knowledge comes at the price of simplicity. That every fact has a history, every claim a context, every decision unintended consequences. And so she refuses to be contained. She was born on a smaller mark, read citation. But she grows, she sprawls, she takes up half the page and 2/3 until she becomes her own argument. She's restless, she collects, she investigates. She keeps the door open just enough for new questions to slip through. And so she leaves the curious beyond what is written into what is possible. That is why I tell you all that the footnote comes after punctuation. And if that dissatisfaction is not ambition in its purest form, then I don't know what is. Now the main text tells the official story. Of course it does. It's written by the victors. The footnote, as such, holds the main text accountable. She has more integrity in her pinky finger than most people have in their bodies. But the history of science, philosophy, and political thought is full of footnotes that begin revolutions. A buried remark about heliocentrism and Copernicus' revolutions. A past note about the psychological harm of segregation in Kenneth and Amy Clark's research study for farm versus rural education. A comment in the margins about women's education and Mary Wollstonecraft's vindication of the rights of women. And in so doing, she fights with everything she has. She is the historian who rescues forgotten names from the margins of the past. The scientist who refuses to dismiss an anomaly of the day, knowing that breakthroughs often begin where certainty ends. The journalist who asks the question that wasn't on the press release. The lawyer who will find the clause buried in the contract. The strategist who points out the one flaw that undermines the entire policy brief. Now the footnote looks harmless, innocent. She sits at the bottom of the page, small, unobtrusive, seemingly irrelevant. Then look closer and you'll find that her rebellion is disguised as compliance. Because she has the courage to remember. The inconvenient conscience of the footnote sneaks in dissent, smuggles in dangerous ideas, discovers a contradiction, reveals complexity, all of which are subtleties that would disrupt the narrative of the main text if they were placed in full view. Not everything belongs in the main text, at least not yet. Like I said, some ideas are too radical, too complex, too ahead of their time. And so the footnote shelters them, protects them until the world is ready. And for that reason, to live like a footnote is to live humbly, aware that one's contributions may never be in bold print, yet still leaving behind something of value. It is to accept that the margins of life, the quiet thoughts, our sides of beautiful observation, may one day be the most important thing we ever write. But mistake not her humility for a lack of necessity. The footnote is the only thing that can correct the main text without destroying it. She does not dismiss the argument above it outright. She refines it, adds nuance, makes it stronger. She does not say the argument is wrong, rather that it is incomplete. And in so doing, she saves the main text from itself. And she is patient through it all. She knows she'll have the last laugh. She knows that eventually, every great claim will be re-examined. And that when that happens, when the moment of reckoning arrives, the footnote will be there, waiting, and touched by her vision, whispering, "I told you so." After all, the truth isn't about visibility, it's about permanence. The footnote is a gift to the future, left behind with the trust that one day, someone will care enough to find it, that somewhere, somehow, a mind will come along that is curious enough, relentless enough, and bold enough to do justice to every argument, and boldly go beyond the main text to discover what was waiting for them all along.